Welcome to Positive Motivation. Today's video is titled The 1% Rule: Never Waste Time. This is not just a motivational speech. This is a wake-up call, a reminder, a truth that can completely change the direction of your life if you truly understand it and apply it. Look around you. Most people are busy, but very few are progressing. Most people are tired, but not fulfilled. Most people say they want success, but their daily habits quietly push them toward regret. The difference between an average life and an extraordinary life is not talent, luck, or background. The difference is how time is used. The 1% understand this. That is why they live differently. Time is the only resource that is given equally to everyone, rich or poor, educated or uneducated, powerful or powerless. Everyone gets the same 24 hours, yet the results are wildly different. This alone should tell you that success has very little to do with time itself and everything to do with how you treat it. The 1% never waste time because they understand its true value. Most people think wasting time means doing nothing, but wasting time is much deeper than that. You waste time when you stay in places that no longer help you grow. You waste time when you keep explaining yourself to people who have already decided to misunderstand you. You waste time when you delay important work for comfort. You waste time when you live on autopilot instead of intention. The 1% are extremely aware of these hidden time traps, and they avoid them. The 1% do not wait for the perfect moment. They know that the perfect moment never comes. If you wait until you feel ready, confident, or fully motivated, you will wait forever. The 1% start before they feel ready. They understand that clarity comes from action, not from thinking. While others are planning their lives in their heads, the 1% are building their lives with consistent action. One of the most powerful habits of the 1% is that they protect their mornings. They do not wake up and immediately give their time to their phone, social media, or other people's priorities. They understand that the first hours of the day set the tone for the rest of the day. If you start your day distracted, rushed, and reactive, your whole day will feel the same. The 1% start their day with intention, focus, and discipline. They understand that discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect. When you wake up early to work on your goals, you are telling yourself that your future matters. When you choose learning over entertainment, you are choosing growth over comfort. When you say no to distractions, you are saying yes to your potential. The 1% don't see discipline as suffering. They see it as freedom. Most people confuse being busy with being productive. They fill their day with small tasks, unnecessary conversations, and endless scrolling, then wonder why nothing changes. The 1% are different. They focus on high-value activities. They ask themselves a simple question every day. Is what I am doing right now moving me closer to the life I want? If the answer is no, they change their action. The 1% are very careful about who they give their time to. They understand that time spent with the wrong people is more dangerous than time spent alone. Negative people drain energy, create doubt, and normalize mediocrity. The 1% choose their circle wisely. They surround themselves with people who inspire growth, not excuses. They also understand that you don't need to explain your vision to everyone. Not everyone will understand your goals, and that is okay. Some people will laugh at you. Some will doubt you. Some will project their own fears onto you. The 1% do not argue with these people. They simply continue working in silence. They let results speak. Another reason the 1% never waste time is because they have clarity. They know what they want. Most people drift through life without direction. They wake up, go through the day, sleep, and repeat. Years pass, and they wonder where life went. The 1% set clear goals. They know what they are working toward, and this clarity helps them say no to distractions. The 1% understand the power of small habits. They know that success is not built in one big moment, but in thousands of small, Boring, consistent actions. Reading a few pages every day, exercising regularly, learning a new skill slowly, improving just 1% daily. These habits may seem small, but over time they create massive results. The 1% respect this process. They also understand that time wasted cannot be recovered. Money can be earned again. Opportunities can come again. But a wasted day is gone forever. This awareness makes them more intentional. They don't rush life, but they don't sleep on it either. They move with purpose. The 1% do not live in constant regret about the past, nor do they live in constant anxiety about the future. They focus on the present moment, because that is where action happens. Worrying about yesterday or tomorrow wastes time and energy. The 1% learn from the past, plan for the future, and work in the present. Rest is also important to the 1%, but they rest with intention. They do not use rest as an escape from responsibility. They use it to recover, recharge, and return stronger. There is a big difference between rest and laziness. Rest prepares you to perform better. Laziness delays your life. The 1% know the difference. They also understand that saying, "I don't have time," is often an excuse. Everyone has time for what they truly value. If something is important to you, you will find time. If not, you will find excuses. The 1% are honest with themselves. They take responsibility for how they spend their time. Another powerful mindset of the 1% is that they invest time before they see results. Most people quit because they don't see immediate progress. They want quick success, fast money, and instant validation. The 1% think long term. They are willing to work in silence for months or years, knowing that consistency will eventually compound. They also avoid comparison. Comparing your journey to someone else's journey is one of the biggest wastes of time. Everyone starts at a different place with different resources and challenges. The 1% focus on their own path. They compete only with who they were yesterday. The 1% understand that learning never stops, while others stop learning after school. The 1% keep upgrading their skills. They read books, watch educational content, seek mentors, and stay curious. They understand that the world is constantly changing, and those who stop learning fall behind. They also take care of their health, because they know that without energy, time means nothing. A tired, unhealthy body cannot use time effectively. The 1% understand that physical health, mental health, and emotional balance are essential for long-term success. The 1% do not wait for external pressure to improve. They don't wait for deadlines, criticism, or failure to push them. They create their own standards. They hold themselves accountable even when no one is watching. This is what separates discipline from motivation. Another important lesson from the 1% is that they simplify their lives. Too many options create confusion. Too many commitments create stress. The 1% cut out what is unnecessary, so they can focus on what truly matters. Simplicity gives clarity. Clarity saves time. They also understand that every yes is a no to something else. When you say yes to distractions, you say no to growth. When you say yes to comfort, you say no to progress. The 1% are very selective with their yes. The 1% do not blame circumstances. They understand that life is not always fair, but complaining does not change anything. Instead of focusing on what they cannot control, they focus on what they can control: their actions, habits, and mindset. This focus saves a lot of wasted mental energy. They also know when to quit things that no longer serve them. Quitting is not always weakness. Sometimes it is wisdom. Staying stuck in a path that leads nowhere is a waste of time. The 1% are brave enough to change direction when needed. The 1% treat time like gold because they understand its connection to freedom. The more wisely you use time today, the more options you have tomorrow. Poor use of time leads to stress. dependence, and regret. Good use of time leads to choice, growth, and peace. If you want to join the 1%, start by observing your daily habits. Notice where your time goes. Notice what drains you and what builds you. You don't need to change everything overnight. Start small, one less distraction, one more productive hour, one better decision today. Remember, you don't need to be extreme. You just need to be consistent. Small improvements done daily will take you further than rare bursts of motivation. Protect your time like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. One day, you will look back and realize that your success or failure was not decided by one big moment, but by how you used your ordinary days. The 1% understand this early. That is why they live differently. Decide today who you want to be. Decide how you want to live. Decide what your time is worth. Stop wasting it on things that do not matter. Start investing it in yourself, your growth, and your future. Because time will pass whether you use it or not. The only question is, when it's gone, will it leave you with regret or results? This was positive motivation. Lead with intention. Respect your time and become the 1% who never waste it.